You have to sell yourself, but you have to sell yourself in a way that's coming off as like, I'm me, this is what I am, this is what I've done, this is what I'm about, and not having the ego drive you. Because then when you get to the opportunity, if your ego is driving you, usually you're not going to be your best self. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Jaxon Talks Everybody. With me, your host, Jaxon Stone. And I got a close homie here with me today at Everybody's Land. We have actually a lot of similar interests. One being baseball. So we're gonna discuss baseball, indie ball, pro ball, and probably some other things on this episode. But Brad, welcome.
I like Everybody Land.
Yeah,
this is cool. I feel like a big shot. I'm here.
Right?
You know?
I got this little thing up here. You can't see it on camera, but I'm pretty proud of that.
I feel like I had to politic a little bit to get here.
You did?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, you're a popular guy. You're a busy man, and
I was.
Yeah. and I used to be too. Now I'm not. Now I have a summer free.
That's true.
I'm normal now.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to have summers where you just
get to hang out
on a Tuesday.
You get to hang out with your family more often.
Yeah. And I feel bad. I felt like I kind of slighted you because this is my first trip to Everybody's Land, and you've been here for a bit. I mean, you've been here for a minute.
Since January?
Yeah, and I haven't made it by, so I felt like maybe we had heat. Maybe there was a little beef, so I wanted to squash that.
Yeah, mad heat. Yeah, mad beef.
Yeah, but it's good beer.
Yeah, what's today's date?
7th.
Today's July 7th. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I've been here since January.
I haven't made it.
Your first time here, but you did bring Bud Lights.
I did.
So
pool water, a.k.a. pool water.
No, God's water.
Hey, I want to know something, and to pull the curtain all the way back here, I said that I was going to save this for the show, so I'll just come right out of the chute with it.
All right.
Would the heel Jaxon Stone have ever admitted that he drank Bud Light?
No. Man, that was so hard for me to never admit that I drank Bud Light.
How about eating gummy worms?
Oh man, never.
So the thing,
especially not from the gas station.
Yeah, the thing with gummy worms here, the reason we're eating gummy worms is this is Jaxon and I's thing. So when we're making magic on the mic here, this is version 2, volume 2. It's our thing to eat gummy worms. It's our thing to smack loudly into the mics.
Oh yeah, these will catch it.
When I watched that show back, our smacking, I couldn't take it.
Which one we did commentary?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
That was GCW. Maggie Martinez Tag Team Invitational, right?
Very important show.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, the last time I did see you, I did your podcast, The Time Limit Draw.
What a great time.
With Rogelio. What a guy. What a stallion.
Dude. Yeah, Ro, what's up, buddy?
I appreciate everything him and Lucha Brutal have been doing throughout the whole Speaking Out movement.
Very important to us.
Yeah, we got to be vocal about it. I shot a video with Greg, our man Greg, the other day, and he was speaking to me about a few things you guys are doing. We don't need to talk about them now. They'll come out when they come out.
It's going to be big.
But I'm pumped. So look out for that. And know that if you're a wrestling fan out there and you have kids, Lucha Brutal is a safe environment, will be a safe environment. A lot of people backstage are working hard to get that for you guys. And they've brought on a few people to implement some of those things that we've been talking about on Twitter with the Speaking Out movement and all that. So I think that's a good step in the right direction. I'm trying to do my part as a wrestler in Texas to see that, to be on the forefront of that,
You're at the front of the line when it comes to that. And I think that there needs to be, I like what we're doing as a company with Lucha Brutal, but it's not just companies. It's got to be talent that steps up to the forefront. I think there needs to be more that follow your lead. There's so many things that you've done that people know about. There's things that you've done that people have no idea for, that you're not looking for limelight or exposure for. But the point being is we've all got to do it together. And it has to start now. It can't be something that we put off. It can't be something that's minimalized when we all come back. The spotlight needs to stay on it. It's big, and I feel like you've got it started in that right direction.
Yeah. I've been talking to Heel Face Wrestling as well, and they're doing a lot of stuff because they go to a lot of shows and do video and do camera and do all the stuff, on the side of the ring and in the back. So they're doing a lot of stuff too, which is important. I mean, it's a time for us to all basically come together. We've been talking about this. I feel like this has been talked about for a long time, just not the Speaking Out movement, but specifically like Texas companies working together.
Yeah.
And we've seen these weekends where like there's shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all the companies are sharing talent to fly them in. That kind of cohesive bond is what we need going forward in terms of to safeguard the business, to safeguard the fans, the wrestlers, and the kids, to make the shows, healthy, happy, and safe. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that the speaking out movement hit me very hard, very close to home. I'm still trying to navigate some of those feelings and emotions that obviously don't go away right away. But it's important for me to deal with those and talk about them and address them. I know it hit you close to home as well, kind of in the same realm.
You can talk about that today.
Yeah, you can say as much or as little as you want, but
it hit me really close. We're gonna talk at some point. I mean, let's just attack the elephant in the room here. You and I were both very close to Andy. We're gonna talk about Andy today, but yeah, it was. You start reading that stuff, and from my perspective, I started reading it about people that I had no association with, and you read it and you look at it, and from afar, not knowing the people, you're like, oh, that's disgusting, you can't believe that. But then when you're reading about someone that you thought you knew and that you were close to and that you tried to kind of extend that olive branch of friendship and try to help out, and you're learning about a side of them that you didn't know existed, that's tough. And then you, at least for me personally, you add the element of someone that has daughters around that age. Man, that made it even tougher to stomach. And I haven't. You and I talking about today is the first time publicly I've said anything. I've been very silent, and as it pertains to Andy.
Right.
And there's people that. I've seen some stuff online about people saying things like, your silence speaks volumes. I agree with that in some respects, but in some respects I don't, and here's why. Because I think from what you're doing, from what we want to do with Lucha Brutal, and now the way that I'm going to talk about it today, words are powerful, right? And you only have one shot. They always say you have one chance at a first impression, right? We also have one chance at getting your feelings out there, but getting them out there in a constructive way to where it's just not finger pointing and bashing and, oh, that guy's a piece of shit, or that guy's this or that. No, it's more than that, right? It's trying to steer the conversation in a direction that can be productive for everybody. It can be productive for us in terms of healing. It can be productive for those that were these brave women that were influenced.
Absolutely.
It can be productive for wrestling companies and how to act and how to go setting the standard moving forward. So I'll be up front and saying that me not talking about it until today was very calculated, because I didn't want to say something that A, I didn't mean, and then B, could be misconstrued for something different than what it was. So, I mean, it's been tough for all of us.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I think when people say silence is violence, or whatever the phrase is, I don't know exactly, but it means a lot of different things, right? If you take it as face value, you just assume that their silence, they're not doing anything, right? They don't care. But I think in terms of, in another way, in another light, that activism or healing or tough conversations that you have are done in your inner circle and not on social media, right? It's okay to address, you have to address those things on social media at some point so that the majority or the wider audience can understand who you are and how you feel. So that your fans then, or the people who follow you then, can connect you on that level.
Yeah.
But the way to address something that's so heartbreaking, and just like hits you very deep, you have to then kind of figure out how you feel first, and then go about it.
Yeah.
So there's many, like, we always associate consequences negatively, but that's not always the case. The consequence of your silence may have been that you're able to heal, you're able to talk to your daughters, you're able to talk to your wife, your business partner about how you guys want to go forward. That's a positive consequence, because then when you do come out and say something, it's exactly what you mean, and you've already taken those steps internally and as a business to then make those healthy safeguards.
And I'm thankful that in my case with my family, that my daughters at least aren't tied to the wrestling world. So it's not a discussion that we've had.
Right.
It's not something they even know about yet because I'm not comfortable having that discussion with them yet from the perspective of, Dad, why do you let somebody like that in your house? Right? Because I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Yep.
I don't know how to answer that. Now, from my wife's perspective, who also knows Andy very well, she's concerned, she has questions, but, I haven't talked to Andy yet because I don't know that I know A, what to say, and B, anything that I would say yet could be to try to find something positive moving forward in terms of him rebuilding his life or me trying to be supportive of that, or I don't know how to cross that bridge yet. Will I? Yeah, the day's going to come where I'll be comfortable having that conversation.
Eventually.
That conversation just isn't going to take place today.
Right. I mean, it's only been 3 weeks, right?
Right.
And that's also incredible that since the speaking out movement, so many good things have come from the brave women speaking out.
Yeah.
And the only way we really tell those women that we appreciate what you did, and men,
Yeah.
and everyone, that we appreciate what you did is by actually making real change. So, wrestling's not really fully back yet. There's shows sporadically here and there, which actually gives us a really good time to plan and prioritize the things that are important. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's that. Okay. So that's that. Yeah, we always start Jaxon Talks everybody with the tough combos, with the tough stuff. People like that.
And there's going to be jackassery in this episode. We're going to cut up. But we need to get to the real stuff first.
So we'll talk about you quick.
All right, let's do it.
So you obviously are in professional baseball.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing much right now,
right?
As in anyone else. I broadcast for the Cleveland Railroaders of the American Association. This would have been year number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, COVID's kind of put a little damper to that.
Yeah.
Half our league is playing right now. In fact, it's the only professional baseball in America right now being played today.
There's a game today.
Yeah, there's
Who's playing?
3 games tonight. There's 6 teams in our league: Chicago Dogs, Milwaukee Milkmen, Fargo, Moorhead Redhawks.
Of course, Fargo's playing.
St. Paul Saints, Sioux Falls Canaries, and the Winnipeg Gold Eyes. So yeah, those 6 teams are going at it. 60-game season that started on the 3rd. They're playing right now. The only baseball in America, but we weren't a part of that, unfortunately. So I get to have my summers as like a normal person. I haven't had summer vacations or being able to do what normal people do during the summer. It's been baseball for 108 nights for me. So it's kind of strange. It's like
any big plans?
Tuesday just hanging.
Any big plans?
You and
the fam gonna take a trip or something?
We'll probably do a couple vacations, do a couple fun things. My oldest daughter gets married in 12 days on the 19th.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. So shout out to Morgan.
Amazing.
Morgan and Logan.
We love.
Yeah. So they're getting married on the 19th. Going to have a big wedding at the house. Because obviously wedding venues are a little difficult to come by.
Very difficult, yeah.
So but we're going to do it upright. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have that, do a couple of trips, and just make the most of the summer off.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's wild, though, because, the baseball part, not that your daughter's getting married. Because minor league baseball got completely shut down.
Yeah. The affiliated ranks of MILB, they're done. There is no year for them, so it sucks because there's a lot of players obviously that aren't getting to play. There's a lot of broadcasters that aren't getting to broadcast games and practice their forte. So it's not sports world. I mean, everything, even wrestling. I mean, you go across the landscape, everybody's affected right now, and we're just trying to kind of make our way through it and make the most of it.
Do the best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so for people who listening aren't familiar with kind of the baseball trajectory. So when you're a baseball player, you can get drafted out of high school. So you can get drafted out of high school, then you go to a major league team and you play for their minor league affiliates until maybe you make it up to the minors. You can go single A, double A, triple A majors. And then when you go to college, you can then get drafted after your junior year or your senior year. If you don't get drafted to a major league team, you can then still play professional baseball, what's called independent baseball, which is where Brad's team is. Obviously, the pay scale is a little different,
Just a wee bit.
But the talent is still there, and it is professional baseball.
It is.
So it's very cool. A lot of my teammates did it for a few years in the American Association League. I know a guy who I played with named Caleb Thielbar. He's been up and down in the majors, minors, and back to independent ball. Now he's on the 60-man roster for the Twins. So if you want to play ball, there's a way, there's a will. You know, you just got to keep grinding.
A lot of similarities between wrestling and baseball in that aspect.
Yes.
You just got to hammer it out. I mean, talking about the American Association, there's household names that have played in our league. Max Scherzer got to start right down the road in Fort Worth at the Cats.
Yeah.
And now he's bringing home about 30 mil a year. He's doing all right for himself. Got a couple bucks in his pocket.
That's right.
But yeah, it's a grind. It's something that if it's your dream, you don't give up on, whether it's pertaining to playing or in my realm, broadcasting. It's kind of funny. You and I, are really mainly me, I've joked about forever that the three most popular folks in the wrestling business that have wrestling/baseball ties are you, I, and Tony Schiavone.
That's right.
In that order. But
and Randy Savage goes number 4.
Right. Well, yeah. God bless the Macho Man. But yeah, so it's a grind. But I mean, hey, that's what makes chasing the dream worth it, right? It's that grind. It's not just getting there; it's the journey to getting there. So
the process is what's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. No doubt.
Have a gummy worm.
Yeah, absolutely. Smack away.
Yeah.
What do you think about my everybody's laying warming gifts?
Yeah. So Brad came over with Bud Light, 18-pack bottles.
Yeah.
So
tell him what you did when he answered the door.
So, well, first he knocked on the door. I said, "It's open. Come in." It wasn't open. Got up, unlocked the door, saw that he had an 18-pack of Bud, grabbed the Bud, pushed him out the door, and then shut the door. Said, "Thanks for coming, man. Have a good night." Obviously, I was joking. Let him in.
I was halfway to the truck.
Yeah, he's like, "Cool, whatever, dude." But yeah, man. Anyone who comes over with Bud Lights to the house is
a solid move. Isn't
it? It's a good play. It'll get you in the good graces.
You know, I want to pretend like I've been here.
Yeah, you might be able to. You might be able to crash on the couch now.
I'm in. Good times.
So your one daughter's getting married.
Yeah.
Your younger daughter.
My oldest is getting married. The twins are still.
But they were in college before COVID hit.
Right, playing softball. Yeah, Brooke is at Arkansas Tech. Allie is at Texas Wesleyan.
Amazing.
Both doing well.
And so their seasons got canceled.
Yeah, and Brooke was second in the country in RBI. She was killing it, hitting 440.
That's incredible.
She had
those are some numbers, baby.
She was putting up video game numbers.
Let's go.
First 15 games, and then COVID had to get in the way. So
how do they feel about that?
Well, she was off to an All-American start. Right?
Yeah,
and then it just came crashing down. So she's got a chip on her shoulder, a little pissed off, ready to get back after it. But again, it's the drive, right? That's what's going to push her to hopefully do that and then some whenever they get back, hopefully in this coming spring. So
have they been able to train at all?
Yeah. They don't quit. They don't quit on that. The COVID's not going to stop them in that. So yeah, they're training probably 3-4 days a week. Coaching too. Coaching Select,
nice.
Coaching Select in the Glory organization. So yeah, they're keeping busy, man. They're not, they don't quit. So,
that's what's up.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Has it been nice having them home?
Yeah. It's been good. They, they like to rib me a lot. They like to rib me a lot because now I've been home a lot too.
Right.
So they like to, they like to critique Dad's work, whether it be in wrestling or in baseball. They like to, poke fun at me a little bit. In fact, let me break a little news right now. I'm Jaxon Stone, everybody. So the big 2-day show over in North Richland Hills at the end of August.
Sure.
27th, 28th. Yours truly will be ring announcing that 2-day event. And so Allie and Brooke were with me when I got the call to be asked to do that. And rather than any congratulations or, that's cool, it's going to be a fun experience, they asked why I wasn't on the show poster.
That's what's up, though. That's what I would ask too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not booked on those shows, so have fun. Good luck.
Yeah. So that'll be fun, just to get back and do something, because obviously with COVID, the shows are few and far between. Lucha Brutal, we're getting ready for some things, so we got some things in the works, but no shows as of yet. We want to wait until the pandemic passes. So hopefully it'll be an opportunity to get out and work a little bit. And
there's a lot of cool
see
people.
some folks. Chandler Hopkins will be on that show.
So is my boy Jordan Oliver's on that show.
Jordan Oliver's on that show. We had Jordan booked for Lucha Brutal the last show.
He was going to stay here. He's going to stay here.
Right. I kind of toot my own horn in terms of things we did, as the executive producer and of Lucha Brutal, like it's executive director. I'm sorry. I take part in some of the booking decisions. Ro and I will sit down and we'll plan out. And in fact, it was you were kind of all the branch to get us to Jordan. Yeah. And I was like, I remember reaching out to you and I'm like, hey, I need to get a hold of Jordan. And I remember pitching it to Ro, and I'm like, man, we got to have Jordan Oliver. This cat's, he's doing it.
He's a superstar,
He's doing it. And we hadn't, no one in Texas had at that time had an opportunity to see Jordan yet.
Right.
So again, COVID kind of got in the way, but we're gonna have Jordan back when we come back. And and that guy's he's doing big things, and sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, he's really good. He's one of the most creative people that I've ever been around.
Yeah.
One of the most creative people and the most excited people I've had the pleasure of calling a match with. It's cool when you can go back and forth calling a match with someone and they get as excited as you.
Yeah.
Because that flow of energy is like, it's unmatched. And it translates into like a really good vibe in the ring, which translates to some good chemistry, which usually translates to a pretty good match.
Yeah, we originally we were kicking around the idea at the time of who to put him in the ring with, and we ended up going with we were going to put him in a three-way with Rocket Boy Wilson and Will Allday.
Nice.
And that would have I'm convinced the three of them would have blown the roof off the joint.
Absolutely.
That would have been stellar. So,
yeah.
We'll see what happens when we come back. We'll see what we do with Jordan in terms of who we pair him with. But man, that three-way is
that'll be hot.
Juicy. Yeah.
Speaking of Will Allday, I've talked to him a decent bit at some shows in the past few maybe 6 months. But we had a show together on Friday, and then he came over on Saturday and we hung out for a few hours. Man, what a good guy.
Will's a good dude. It was funny.
And a hell of an athlete, too.
Small world story. So, before I ever knew Will, I knew his brother, Forrest. His brother plays in the American Association.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, Forrest is, man,
he's
really
a stud.
Good. Really, really good.
Really good baseball player.
Really good. And those athletic genes run in the Allday family.
Yeah, real last name Allday. Definitely, they have the genes.
They do. They do.
Because him and Jordan wrestled a match. They had a three-way with someone else. I don't remember who it was, in Arizona. And I talked to Jordan after the match about it. He was ranting and raving about how good Will was.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, guy's a couple years in.
Yeah.
Just a confident guy.
Yeah.
He's an adult, right? So he kind of knows what he's doing, handles his business very well. Yeah, so it was cool to get to chat with him.
Yeah. It's funny how things have come along. I mean, like when I think first show you and I were on together was 2017 in Cleveland for Rampage.
Yep.
Man, and in some ways that seems like yesterday, but in some ways that seems like a million years ago.
Yeah, I just got back from my first trip in Germany.
Yeah, right.
And that was it was like a five-sided ring, I believe.
Yeah, six-sided
ring.
Yeah.
Can't really be five sides, whatever. Right. Anyways,
we'll edit that.
Yeah, someone will. It'll be me. No, it won't be edited. It's raw.
All part of the comedy.
Raw and uncut.
Raw. Yeah, right.
Even though the guy that edits these for me, his name's Ben. He lives in the UK. He's incredible. He could do it, but whatever. Anyways, thanks, Ben. You're the man.
Right.
Anyways.
Cut that out, man. But it seems
what a cool show, though.
Yeah, it seems like forever ago. And then let's see. Where else have we worked together? We worked together at Southern Junction.
Yeah.
What was that? War of the Genders 3? Is that what that was?
Yeah. With Sabotage.
Yeah, with Sabotage and Lucha Brutal. Yeah, co-promoted show.
Yeah, we did maybe I mean, obviously did the commentary together.
Right. When we did the commentary together.
I cracked my jawbone, or broke my jawbone.
Yeah.
Or my cheekbone, not my jawbone.
That was a lot of fun. Smacking gummy worms.
Oh man, yeah.
For 3 hours. Yeah.
We got a little tipsy.
Was that your first crack at the table?
Yes.
That was it. That was go number one.
First time I'd ever done commentary.
You know what? I want Jaxon Stone fans to seek that show out. Maggie Martinez Memorial Invitational Tag Tournament. Seek that show out because literally, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we literally tell you like the day of the show, hey, we're putting you on color commentary tonight?
Something like that, because I was supposed to be on it, right?
Yeah.
But then I broke my jaw, my cheekbone.
And then we were like, come to the show anyway, we're putting you on color tonight.
I think that's the time it was. I don't actually remember if it was that.
I want to say... you were injured. Obviously, that's why you were at the table. But if my memory serves me correctly, like we gave you no notice. Like literally, it was the day of.
Maybe, but it was fun.
But you were ready. I'll never forget. You were like, "Yeah, man, let's go, let's do it."
I mean, you had all the notes. I kind of just played off of you,
right?
And I was pretty familiar with every guy that was in the ring because I've either seen them wrestle or wrestled them or been around them or whatever.
Right.
I like doing commentary. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good.
I like chatting up. Yeah, hyping the boys. You know,
it was good stuff.
I didn't hype everyone because it is what it is.
Yeah, no, but you did. You seemed like you had talent, especially for first time out. Thank you. No, like you didn't have time for pregame jitters. You didn't have time for. It was just
get after
showtime. Go to work.
I think the Jack Daniels had something to do with it.
Maybe.
And the Swedish Fish.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's all just mad skill.
You got the pop coming through the curtain. We sold you coming to the table, and then. You just kind of took it over and ran with it.
There we go.
Yeah, so Michael Cole, look out.
Who are your favorite wrestling commentators?
Of all time?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm an old school guy. There are a couple of real, like, mid-'80s guys I like. I love Bob Caudle, who did a bunch of Mid-Atlantic stuff, NWA stuff back mid-'80s. He's one of these old school guys and just a southern drawl. And he's the kind of guy, like, you looked at him like, man, that could be my grandpa. You know what I mean? Like he just made you feel good. You know what I mean? So I liked him. I loved Joey Styles, ECW, because Joey was the first one to be by himself. There was no color guy. It was just him. So it was sink or swim. There's no one to throw the raft out to him if he was sinking. So I have a lot of respect for that because that's not easy.
It's hard.
Very difficult. So I like Joey Styles a lot. Mauro Ranallo is the best broadcaster in the world to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
just in general,
Mauro's unbelievable. Like his study and preparation, and then some of the things that he battles with in his personal life. Mm-hmm. Mauro, like huge amount of respect for Mauro. But then another guy that I really have a lot of respect for is Kevin Kelly, because I got to work under him. I was kind of under the learning tree of Kevin Kelly when I had my WWE tryout back in 2000, and then got to pair up with him for a brief stint in ROH in 2009. No, I'm sorry, 2000. I'm sorry, that's not right. 2013.
Okay.
So I have a lot of respect for Kevin Kelly, but those guys, I would say Kevin Kelly, Mauro Ranallo, current, are the best two guys in the world. And how funny that neither of them are on the WWE grand stage. Like, to me, WWE is absolutely missing the boat with Mauro. Like, I don't know if it's the thing that Mauro wants to be in NXT. I know he had his riff with JBL back in the years, and that's kind of what gravitated him towards NXT to get away from all that, but he's so good, man.
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does. But then again, he fits the NXT product, because I think the NXT product, especially with guys that are there now, like Keith Lee, Gargano, some of the others. I mean, to me, that's the best stuff on TV. Yeah.
If your company, Lucha Brutal, had an endless supply of money, who would join the commentary booth with you for every show?
You know what? If it was me, like, and here's what I've liked. I've liked that I haven't stepped in it yet. I think JT LaMotta, what he's doing right now, he's really, really good. JT and Eamon are doing really, really good work. But if the money train was endless.
You
know what? I'm as crazy as it sounds, I'm keeping LaMotta in there.
Sure.
LaMotta's staying, but I'm bringing Mario on board, and it would be Mario, Eamon, and JT.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it'd be a 3-man booth for those
Sweet.
3 guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably cost a couple bucks, so I don't think I have that much in my wallet. So.
Well, Morrow's value should be extremely high. He's incredible.
Yes, very good work.
He should be getting paid for his worth.
Very good work. Yeah, no doubt.
You can just feel his energy. You know, that's all you want to do.
Morrow.
No matter if you're in the ring performing or you're speaking about what's going on in the ring, people want to feel that energy.
Yeah.
It's all that flow.
Can you imagine like how good he would be? Like here would be a great comedy bit. Take like Rose calling in there. Sorry, Ro. Got to get back to him.
Answer it. Tell him what you're doing.
Let's put him on speaker.
Yeah.
Hey, Ro.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of Jaxon Talks, everybody. Like literally, we're filming, and we decided to pick up the phone. So you want to say hello to the world?
Hello.
Jaxon here was just putting you over, actually.
Yeah, heavy.
Like literally, just majorly putting you over. Yeah. So we'll. I'm about to get into a great story. Actually, we were just talking about, and in fact, you verify this. Jackson's commentary debut, wasn't that at your sister's show? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Okay, we were right.
I was pretty much right. He was trying to make me waver, but I thought
no way.
I thought that's what the show was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I'll call you.
Well, it's a,
Okay. Rogelio Martinez, owner of Lucha Brutal.
What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah.
Follow Lucha Brutal.
So, going back to my Morrow bit, like, you and I are all about comedy. We like to laugh. We like to do cool stuff,
for sure.
Right? Can you imagine if you had a guy like Morrow and think like when he's really into it, right? Like, think of your signature NXT match with his signature, the Mama Mia or whatever, the signature call, right?
Yeah.
Put Morrow at the bar with you and I, right? Like, let's go back to Orlando.
Okay.
This is a great story. This is a great Jaxon Stone story. Orlando, Florida, WrestleMania week. We are at the Joey Janela Spring Break?
Yeah.
In fact, this is the first time that Jaxon and I hung out together.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We are at the Joey Janela Spring Break show. And Jaxon and I are at the bar to grab a beverage. And we go up there, and it was you and I and Tyler Bate. You, I, and Tyler Bate are at the bar. We're just talking, just having a good time, 3 of us, just chatting it up. Guy comes and stumbles up that was inebriated out of his mind. This guy's like, he had to have been 20 drinks in.
Yeah, he was having a rough night.
Yeah, he was on the downside. The roller coaster ride, he's coming down. Like, it's coming to a crashing halt for him, right? And he was being borderline belligerent. Like, he wasn't being violent or anything like that, but we didn't want him there. And I don't know, like, his infatuation with you. He got like he wanted to just like get all up in your area, right?
So
like,
close. He was so close to my face.
Yeah. And Jaxon, in true form, just smiling it off. Hey, buddy, having a good night tonight? Yada, yada. Just trying to be nice to him. And the guy wouldn't go away. And then I think I might have said something to try to initiate him leaving. And then he wanted to be kind of tough guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then it kind of turned to tough guy.
Tables turned a little bit.
Right. And I was looking at him and was like, you don't want to do that, buddy. That wouldn't end well for you. You know? And you tried to kind of, again, play the good guy role. But put the point to telling that story. Put Morrow right in the middle of that. So we got the trio with us having cocktails, and then you got Morrow right there. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Right? I mean, Kenny, that's good comedy right there, right? And when Morrow's like his exuberance and his that would be that's a YouTube hit right there.
That's true.
Right? That's a YouTube hit. So that's the ideas that go through my head.
We'll call that guy Jim.
We'll call him Jim.
Jim walked away. I think he got home safe.
We hope he made it home.
Thanks for the good story, Jim.
Yeah, it was a good time. One a minute. One a minute. Yeah.
That was a great show, though, Joey Janela. Spring Break. I think that might have been the first ever one.
Another funny thing about that night. In fact, I don't even know if you remember this part, but we go back down and we're off kind of secluded with a bunch of the boys and watching the show kind of in the dark corner. And I don't remember the match, but you and I and a couple others Cedric Alexander was down there. We were watching the match, and I just remember looking up, and there was it was that insane battle royal or whatever they call it.
The clusterfuck.
Clusterfuck, yeah, where they did the door spot, right?
Yeah.
Where they put the door up on the. And I remember, I'm like, oh, and that's the first time I had seen the spot, and I'm like, oh my god, that is sick. And I remember, like, I'm looking at you or looking at somebody, I'm like, oh, that's sick. And then I turn to the other side, and I'm like, it's just Kevin Owens, like, just as close to me. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's Kevin. And not that I marked out like it, but I was like,
I did heavy.
Yeah, and I'm like, what, how, first off, when did you show up, right? And second off, like, what? I don't know. I guess I was questioning, what are you doing here? He was there just to watch it like you and I were, just being fans. But
he's a huge fan of wrestling. First off, loves indie wrestling because that's where you got to start.
Sure.
And from what that's the only.
I think I steamed him too. I think I called him Kevin Steen.
I didn't talk to him in that moment, but from what I see on social media, man, he seems like such a good, like, down to earth dude.
Yeah, and I had literally like a 90-second exchange with him. Yeah. Like we told stories of the past 20 years, but yeah, it was
I'm a big fan of him and his work.
Yeah,
and it was cool that those guys just come and check out the show and see the hard work that the indie guys are putting in.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah. Good time that night.
Always. Sad there was no WrestleMania this year.
That was literally right before the kind of the beginning of the whole Keith Lee explosion.
Oh yeah, dude.
Right? Because in fact, I remember we were chatting him up that night.
Yeah.
Before that show.
He was crushing it then. He's even more crushing it now.
Murdering it.
What a guy, dude.
Yeah.
Absolute stallion.
Yeah.
Yeah. WrestleMania weekend's always cool. Super sad it didn't happen this year.
Yeah.
The show was cool itself, but it was kind of odd being in front of no fans at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
And really heartbreaking for the indie guys who put so much work in all year to kind of get those shows. But
and we were pumped because we were going to have a show.
We had the Texas Forever show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff, but it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
It's all still in the works.
No doubt. It was a good time.
Okay, so let's bring it back to baseball a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm always a fan of baseball. I'm always talking baseball.
So, MLB announced, obviously, 60-game season.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gets a DH.
Mm-hmm.
In your head, who does 60 games benefit? Teams with better pitching or better offense?
Better offense, and here's why. Because starting pitchers first, if it happens to begin with, and it depends on your perspective. Like if you get on Twitter and listen to Buster Olney still to this day says 0% chance the season happens. 0.
He's still saying that.
It will not happen. The season will not happen. Yeah.
I don't think he's he's not totally wrong.
No, I'm not saying he's totally wrong either. And obviously he's taken the COVID perspective and the precautions that need to be taken and just what happens when someone tests positive in the season and all those elements, right? But in terms of just the game, the nuts and bolts of the game, it has to benefit the hitters because, I mean, imagine starting pitching. I mean, you played the game. These guys, you're giving them 3 weeks to prepare.
Right.
A starting pitcher cannot get in a 90 to 100 pitch frame in 3 weeks.
No.
They just can't. It's not possible.
The arm doesn't work like that.
It's not possible. All right, it's not possible. So, there's going to be a lot of injuries because guys are going to overextend themselves because of the competitiveness in them, right? And some of these guys, can you imagine being in a free agent year? You're a starting pitcher, and your free agent year is a 60-game season that will determine the amount of money you make going forward.
Right.
That's scary. So those guys are going to overextend the shit out of themselves because it's dollars down the line next year, right?
And for starting pitchers, they only pitch every 5 games.
Right.
So their season obviously is even way less than
12 starts.
Than a normal hitter would have all 60 games.
Right. So, 4 bad starts in a 60-game season, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that element, right? But from a fan's perspective, 60 games is exciting because anybody can win.
Right.
In 162 games, the talent is going to dictate the result, right? But in a 60-game season, where some guys, take your guys that are historically a little slow to get out of the gate. they don't have time to be, they can't go 2 weeks hitting a buck 80, right? Because there is a 30-year year, right? They can't afford to do
right.
that. So I think from a fan perspective, if they play, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. From a player perspective, I got to think that it benefits the offense just a little bit. So I think you'll see scoring be up some. But 9 out of 10 baseball fans want to see runs scored. They like that excitement.
Sure.
They want to see the home run. They want the long ball. They want the grandioso of high scoring games and all the fireworks that come with that. So we'll see. I think in the end, if I'm a betting man, which I am, I think the good teams will rise to the top. It's hard. It's going to be hard to fend off the Dodgers, who have a crazy amount of talent. And I'm saying this, all things being equal, not taking injuries into account.
Right.
Dodgers are going to be really tough. I think the Braves are really good. Ronald Acuna might be the best player, the best under 25 player in the game today. The kid's unbelievable. So I think the Braves will be good. Yankees are going to do their thing in the American League. They're always going to be up there.
They compete.
Yeah. So it'll be fun, man. It's going to be great just to have sports to watch.
Yeah, because if you look at baseball as a whole, like some of the teams last year that would have started off really hot, maybe winning 20 of their first 30 games, end up in last place.
I know. Yeah.
But if you win 20 of your first 60 games,
right,
unless you really plummet.
If you go, if you're at 20 and this year. If you're at 20 and 10 at the halfway point, you got a puncher's chance, man.
Yeah.
You got a shot.
You have a real shot at winning a World Series title if it gets that far, if they do play the season. So that's what's super interesting to me because baseball is all about momentum.
No doubt.
And 60 games in terms of a whole, if you're looking at a whole 162 game season, 60 games, you get on a hot streak in 60 games.
No doubt.
So whoever's carrying that momentum from day one is gonna win the strap.
It's gonna be stupid fun.
You can even look at like the NCAA College World Series, right? Some of the number 4 seeds or these 3 seeds just get right in and then they get hot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're won, or they're beating number 1 seeds and all these things.
Yeah.
Baseball is about momentum and energy, and like you're feeling it, and it's like things just fall into place, and it's a game of inches and luck, and like things just go your way, and boom, boom, boom.
Look at your NCAA tournament experience. You guys were
Peep the jersey.
Literally, yeah, I like that, by the way. You guys were, literally, you're a couple of key moments in games. Had they gone a different way, you could have been playing in a super regional.
We're 1 out away from a super regional.
Yeah. It's insane.
About beating the number 4 seed in the country.
Right. So it's going to be fun. Major League Baseball is going to be fun if they get it going. The only thing I'm concerned with is obviously the number of tests. Like obviously close to home, we just saw Joey Gallo yesterday. Yeah. He tested, so and he's asymptomatic. Didn't even know he had anything.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see.
The
NBA is even worse because they're going to be in the bubble.
Oh yeah.
Geez.
I go back and forth with everything. Like on one side, like sports are going to be really good for just sports fans in general. Like if you don't like sports, you don't care, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a sports fan, being able to get home with your friends or your family and have a beer and watching sports is an incredible thing for your mental state, right? So in that regard, it's like going to make people's lives a little bit better. But we're also putting these athletes who are human beings with families at risk. Obviously, it's their choice, but not really their choice per se. It's their job. Like Walmart employees, it's their job. They have to go to work. And people who are essential workers have to go to work. We thank them for that, but it's their job. They have to go. And these guys are getting paid lots of money to do that. But, there's a positive side to it, right? It's going to help people be a little bit happier and healthier and have something to watch, but also puts a lot of people in danger. So it's like, I'm not making these decisions, but this is what they're going through in terms of trying to make these kinds of decisions.
It's kind of crazy, though, from the fan perspective when you think about it, because by the time this episode comes out, it'll be mid-July. So, talk about, from a fan's perspective, all these things you look forward to. You got Brad Allred and Jaxon Stone right now, Jaxon Stone, everybody, and then that parlays into a major league season and then an NBA season. 3 very important things.
Right, super important.
Give us 3 very important things. So for fans, man, they got
some
stuff. Forward to.
Yeah,
it's not going to be boredom watching reruns of Friends and Seinfeld 5 days a week. They'll have some live content to keep them busy.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of Friends, are you a Friends, Office, or Seinfeld guy? Which one's better?
They're all very different, man.
Yeah.
Probably Office. Probably Office. Seinfeld's good, right?
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, how many times has Seinfeld played out over and over? I mean,
I honestly have not watched enough episodes of Seinfeld to know if I like it or not. I can't stand The Office.
why? Really, that surprises me.
Well, I watched all of season 1. Couldn't get into it. Just wasn't my. I know people love it. Like people swear by it.
It hasn't grown on you through however many episodes in season 1.
So I might just like flip on season 3 because people said it just gets funnier.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep kind of getting through it.
Yeah.
And I want to believe these folks. So I think I'm just gonna hop into season 3 at some point.
Don't give up on it yet.
I won't because I love who's the main character?
Now you're putting me on the spot. Carell.
Yeah, Steve Carell. He's amazing. Love him in all the movies. I think he's an incredible.
Yeah.
And the other guy who plays, he's tall.
Yeah.
He's the girl in the show's name is Pam. I think. Yeah, that guy's incredible too.
Yeah. It'll grow on you.
So I'm gonna hop in on season 3.
Give it time.
But I love Friends. Big Friends. Love it. Really good.
Friends is good, but it's
easy to watch.
It's easy to watch, but it's kind of mild.
I couldn't tell you like what happened on season 3, episode 12.
Right.
I'm not into it but if it pops on, I might watch it.
Right.
You know?
It's kind of mild. This really has nothing to do with the other, but let's have a little movie talk really quick because I watched a really good one last night.
Yeah.
Obviously, with what's going on right now, Netflix is a huge player.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Hulu, whatever, right? Whatever your platform is. Netflix happens to be mine. And I don't know. I'm almost ashamed to say that I've never seen this until last night.
Ooh.
But top 10 movie for me ever.
Really?
Ever.
Oh,
ever.
wow. This is deep.
Yeah, and I'm a Mark Wahlberg fan. Okay, I'm a Mark Wahlberg fan. Yeah. And it almost shames me even more that I never saw this movie until last night. Patriot Day.
I haven't seen it.
Oh! You have to watch it tonight.
Is it good?
You have to watch it tonight.
It's that good.
Tonight. Not tomorrow, not the next day.
I'll watch it when you leave.
Not when you have time. Like, you have to watch it tonight.
After I beat you in MLB The Show, I'll flip it on.
Well, yeah, after I beat the brakes off you and run rule you, because we're not even going to put you through 9 innings of that, you got to watch Patriot Day. So it's about the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
And what makes this movie so damn intense is they mix in the actual footage, like as the FBI were investigating to find these monsters, like all the security footage from like ATMs, from cameras outside bars, from convenience stores. They used all the actual footage of the 2 bombers going into the places that ultimately cost them their freedom and because that's how they found their identities and caught them, right?
Sure.
But the way in which
why is this? I didn't even know this movie existed.
Unbelievable. And at the point, I don't want to ruin it, but it's very much it follows the lines of what really happened in real life, right? So at the point in which the FBI identifies who the 2 bombers are, and you get that real life step-by-step feel of what they went through in tracing the steps to find out who they did it. And it's very intense as they're investigating. That there they are. That's them, right? So intense. Like it will literally have you on the edge of your seat. And then from that point until the end of the movie where they hunt them down.
Yeah.
I swear, it's one of the 10 best movies I've ever seen.
Wow, okay.
Incredible. I just watched it last night.
You sold me heavy.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good.
I'll watch it tonight for sure.
Patriot Day. Check it out. And
no, I've seen it. I've seen the graphic on Netflix. It's like it's like in the top 10 thing. It's like everywhere.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't know how I didn't see it whenever it came out, but yeah, it's new for me. But it gives me even more of appreciation for Mark Wahlberg. You know how there's those actors that are those movies like, or let me ask you, do you have movies in which no matter what you're doing, like if you're just flipping the channels, is there a movie that you could see flipping the channels that no matter what point it's at in the movie, it makes you stop and watch it?
100%.
Yeah.
I've got my two favorite movies of all time are The Dark Knight Rises,
Okay.
the one with Bane.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'll watch that any second, any time.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on like USA Network or whatever. Done watching it.
Stopping, right.
And then I really actually love romantic comedies. Like I watch a lot of them, and I really like them. I love love, and I love laughing at the same time about love.
Yeah.
And so I watch them a lot.
Yeah.
And my favorite one of that kind of genre is She's Out of My League.
Okay.
And so whenever those two movies are on, like
You're stopping that.
That's a done deal.
Even if it's the last 10 minutes of the movie.
It'll get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm that way, but with actors, right? So I think Denzel Washington's the greatest actor of all time.
He's incredible.
So if there's a Denzel Washington movie on, like Man on Fire is my all-time favorite of his.
What's the one where his kid needs the
John Q? No,
Yeah.
not John. Yeah, is it John Q?
his kid needs the heart transplant?
Yeah, that one's really good.
That
I mean,
gets me,
there's
dude.
so many of them.
That shit
There's
gets
so many.
me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if there's a Denzel Washington movie on, stopping. I'm stopping down. Right. It's Training Day. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He crushes it.
Oh, dude.
He makes me believe.
Right. So I'm stopping down for him. Morgan Freeman's another one. Like Shawshank Redemption. I've seen that movie 734 times.
Really?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and I'll probably watch it another one before the end of the week because I swear to God, that movie's on every night. Right. So if I see that, I'm stopping. But there's a few movies that if I see it, it's making me stop. Patriot Day might be on that list, man. It's that good. It's that good.
Wow.
Yeah. So check it out. And then and for fans watching this, check it out and then comment. And if I'm overselling it, tell me. I can take it.
Let us know.
Yeah.
You know what I watched last night on Netflix? Athlete A.
Dude, you're like the fifth person that's told me that. And from what I've heard,
It was very heavy.
yeah. And from what I've heard, I want to go. Like I feel like when I do watch it, based off what I've heard, I'm gonna go. I will want to go punch that guy in the throat.
Yeah, it was really heavy. I should have waited a few weeks
Yeah.
to watch it because it has, it's kind of the same vein
Sure.
as what we've been talking about before with speaking out.
Were you ready to throw something at the TV? Yeah.
Throughout the entire film, I was angry,
Yeah.
also in tears,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
it's like really upset, dude, that some of these people just just value these gold medals and winning and money over this health and the safety of these girls who all they want to do is just be gymnasts. They just want to be gymnasts.
Successful. Yeah.
They just love it. So that's why they train hard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're taking this power away from them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh my God,
How's that guy not been killed in prison?
Disgusting.
Yeah. It's coming, man. Karma's. I believe in karma. He's gonna get it. It's coming.
fucking chump.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's Netflix.
But overall, is a well-made documentary.
Right.
Obviously, something that needed to be made.
Yeah.
Because people need more about the USA Gymnastics and what they did,
Right.
how disgusting their actions are.
I'm just gonna need something to, after I watch that, to take that aggression.
Yeah, go to either get a punching bag. I hit my pillow a bunch of times like this.
Just pound the shit out of it. Yeah.
Is there something really odd that you've watched in quarantine,
Okay, so
or something really odd that you've bought?
Okay, bought no, watched yes, but I'm gonna. My wife has to shoulder all the blame in this because Misty likes to watch these effed up shows, man. Like,
Really?
Yeah, it's for her. It's all about reality TV, and it's not just reality TV, but it's reality TV with people that have messed up lives. Like she wants to watch My 600-Pound Life. She wants to watch. What's the one Married in 30 Days or whatever? Where you're married and then you have to decide if you're going to stay together.
Yeah.
Or where they meet people from other countries and go and
She likes these.
yeah. And here's the bad part about it. Here's why I'm subjected to this garbage, is because we're watching it as we're going to bed at night, right? So I'm laying down to go to bed. I can't escape the TV. It's right there. I'm like, unless I'm going to sleep on the couch, there's no escape, right?
Right.
And then as I, roll over, sleep on my side, thinking I'm going thinking I'm going to ignore it. What I'm really doing is rolling over the side, and then I'm kind of doing this.
You're still
I'm watching it, man.
You're still peeking.
So, I probably need my head checked for participating in that garbage, but
Whatever.
I've had to watch that.
Your wife finds some entertainment in it. So.
Oh, she's a faithful watcher.
It's mindless entertainment, you know.
Faithful.
I watched a few of those. I watched like Too Hot to Handle, which was whatever.
Yeah.
I watched the full season though.
What was the dating one where they couldn't see each
Love
other?
Is Blind.
Yeah.
Actually,
that was all right.
So
that one was okay.
So Love is Blind. The idea behind that is that you go on a lot of dates with someone. Like you have an ample amount of time to get to know them as a person, but you can't see them. Mm-hmm. You don't know what they look like. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea behind that, right? Because a lot of the stuff I talk about and a lot of stuff that I'm about is about human connection, right?
Yeah.
We're not meant to go on this planet alone. We're meant to have human connection. So the idea behind Love is Blind is actually really brilliant, right? You're not building a relationship off sex or attraction or any of these other things that eventually leave you, but you're building it off getting to know someone like on a really deep level.
Yeah.
So I think that's a brilliant idea, but I just think that at the end of it, it goes on. It's either like you get married or you don't. Mm-hmm. Like I think there's got to be like a step in between. Like, okay, now that I really feel like emotionally connected with you, you know a lot about my life. Like I feel like I could talk to you for hours. Let's hang out first, and then maybe like go on a few dates, see if there's a physical attraction. Because I think in a really good, loving relationship, a long-lasting marriage, you can attest to this. Obviously, I'm not married, but there has to be some sort of physical attraction.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
There has to be.
There has to be both. There
has to be both.
Yeah, there has to be
I think
both.
it's brilliant to build it off the emotional connection because I think that's what lasts longer.
Yes.
And that's what's more important.
Yeah.
But also, sex and physical attraction is a very important element to a long-lasting relationship.
You know what? Now that I think about it, you would be like Love is Blind. You'd be a natural fit for that show. Like
I would like to go on it, but there would be no way after 4 weeks of just getting to know someone that I would then ask them to marry me.
Right, but you can't tell me that being put, let's say you were on that show, you can't tell me for a second that you wouldn't be scared to death in the context of that show, making your commitment, making your selection, making your pick for the one girl, right?
Right.
Not knowing what she looks like, and you're like, that moment, you can build that emotional attachment all you want.
Right.
But you haven't seen her.
Right.
And that one moment where that door's gonna open and you're like, oh God, is it in? And it's
I would have been so nervous. I would literally be freaking out. I'd be like, in my head, I like love who this person is.
Yeah.
I love who she is. This is amazing.
Right.
Like, what does she look like?
Yeah, but are you going as that, and if I remember right, like it's the silhouette thing, right? And the door just kind of opens. And so you're starting at the feet and moving up, right? Like if it was me, I can be honest enough to say if it's me, as that thing's coming up, I'm going, supermodel, and then it's either deep breath, exhale because there's that physical attraction,
right?
And you build that based on the emotional connection you built, or there is an instant state of confusion because you
love her.
Yeah, you have your mind is weighed on that emotional connection you built, but then you look and you're like,
and then maybe you're not attracted to her, like,
right? And then what do you do?
That's a tough call.
Yes,
but I would still go for it.
Yeah, you still have to navigate your way through.
I would
see
still
what
just,
happens.
I would probably just dive in and see where it goes because you can gain more of a physical attraction for someone. I don't know. So I like the idea behind that show. It's just really it's tough, man.
Yeah,
that's a tough call to make. Like I don't know what I would do if I was put in that situation.
Jaxon Stone on Love is Blind. Like there's got to be season 2 coming.
No, there for sure is. I would love to be on season 2. Man.
Come on!
I think I would crush that.
Get him! Come on, call him.
People want to. I mean, people want to know what I got to say. People already know my story, but
but that's what makes it even better, right?
I think Netflix needs to know it.
Yes. And then you're put. I mean, if we're really being honest here, then you're put to the ultimate test, like personally, right? Because here's your story, which at that point obviously would have a lot of bearing on you being on the show to begin with, right? And so now it's like your personal testament to living in a very public forum,
right?
What you have built your platform on over the recent time, dude. That's TV. What are you waiting on?
Yeah.
That's why I'm his agent. Call me. We'll
Call
get
Brad.
the deal done.
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, get my DMs. We'll
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, we'll get it done.
No, I actually said that when I said that to a few of my buddies when I watched the show. I feel like it'd be a cool show for me to be on.
Yeah,
because a lot of these Netflix reality shows aren't for me.
Right. Could you imagine like Could you imagine a wrestling-based show with that concept, but with women that knew nothing about wrestling, right?
Okay.
Knew nothing about wrestling, and then B, like have all the guys be very kind of the quiet type, or maybe not the quiet type, but have a blend of the just down to earth dudes, you know what I mean? Like the guys that are very, very genuine, very not the persona that you might look at some of them like in the ring, right?
Right.
So let those relationships develop, right? So the girl who knows nothing about wrestling can build these relationships and make these decisions in terms of who they're with, right? But then after the fact, then show those girls
what
the wrestling persona side of it. That would be genius, man. That'd be good too.
I mean, you can just follow me around with the camera.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
if I go on first dates or dates with girls, like I try to avoid saying that I'm a pro wrestler right away.
You did?
I don't avoid it for this. That I'm not embarrassed. Of course not. But like, then the questions go away from me getting to know her and her getting to know me.
Yeah.
The questions then become about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That's not really, those questions aren't getting to know me better.
Right.
You know?
Now, are you one of those guys that, and I don't mean just in like situations on dates or whatever, but like, do you consider yourself to be one of those guys like, and this goes in any profession, it doesn't, obviously we're talking wrestling, but you could really say this for anyone out there and whatever you do. Are you one of those guys that likes to take work home? Do you like to talk shop away from the office? Like, I understand if you're talking about something from a creative standpoint, but like let's say you and I are just hanging out tonight, and I'm like, hey man, did you catch this clip of this match online with this guy or whatever? You know what I mean? Like talking shop. Are you one of those guys that likes to talk shop? Or are you one of those guys that, man, that's work, I just want to breathe a little bit?
It depends. Like, yes and no. Like, I don't like to talk pro wrestling all day.
Right.
Because I have a lot of other interests.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm just hanging out with friends.
Right.
You know? But if I see something cool or something caught my eye or like I'm fired up about something, then I want to talk about it. Because I don't think that's work related. I think that's just something that I'm excited about.
Right.
And I think that's in the same vein as anything else I'm excited about. Hey, I got Chipotle. I'm excited about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, this match clip was dope. Let's talk about it.
Right. So that's some coffee talk, whatever.
But like if we have a show and like some boys come over to my house afterwards, I don't really want to talk more wrestling. I don't want to talk about the show because why? We were just at the show. Let's talk about anything else.
And it's funny you mention that because like in the baseball world, there's kind of an unwritten rule, and especially in that relationship amongst broadcasters and players. I've been very fortunate so there are a lot of players I'm very close with to this day. Guys that still play for Cleveland, guys that have moved on, playing other places that I still have very close friendships with. But one of the things that I learned quickly, very early on, is kind of the unwritten rule is when you're in the clubhouse, you're welcome to talk anything baseball related.
Right.
But the second the game's over, the second you get on the bus, whether it's that night's game, it doesn't matter if you go 4 for 4, 0 for 4, whether you won 10-1 or lost 2-0, whatever. You leave the game at the stadium.
100%.
Right? You leave the game at the stadium. Now you're boys.
Right.
You're talking about going and grabbing dinner, going and grabbing a beer, or
whatever.
Going back to play video games in the room,
Sure.
or chilling in the lobby, whatever. But you're just not talking baseball because you have to have that separation. You got to have that period of being a normal person to where you're not, you're not Jaxon Stone the performer. Now you're you. Now it's your life. It's your personal time to kind of do, And I feel like it's funny because there's some guys in the business, and now I'm talking wrestling, that are like that. Like I know some guys that, oh my God, they don't want to talk. They're all about it at the show. We can be behind the curtain of the show and you can talk about whatever as it pertains to that show or ideas or whatever. But the second you get out that door and you go have a beer again or whatever, they're checked out, man. They don't
For
want
sure.
they don't want anything to do with it, right? And then
I'm
you
with
got
that.
other guys on the other end of the
Completely
spectrum that
different,
just live it. It's just boom, 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 boom. So it's kind of trying to, I guess, find that happy medium. you know?
Yeah. Well, like with baseball, of course, because you're playing the next day.
Right.
Like you can't.
Right.
Even if you did 4 for 4, you can't be all about it.
You gotta check
Or
out.
you're 0 for 4. It's got to be done. New game tomorrow. Let's decompress. I'm gonna hang out with the boys.
That's exactly right.
Whatever. Like I think especially with indie wrestling and indie pro wrestling, like a lot of what people are dealing with right now during this quarantine is that they're finding out that they don't have a lot of other interests outside of professional wrestling. Which
You
is
think
hard.
that you think that contributes to some of that underlying negativity right now? And I'm not just talking about speaking out in the movement and some of the other things, but just the with COVID and the guys, like, because I've talked to some guys, like some of our talent, that are, like you said, they're having a really difficult time, like figuring out who they are as people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So on one hand, it's like if you all that you are is pro wrestling, you're probably going to be very successful, right? And that's a lot of the guys who are making a full-time living at being pro wrestlers, and not on a large scale, say WWE, but on an indie level or just like signed to another major company. They're making a full-time living because all they do is eat, sleep, breathe independent professional wrestling or professional wrestling in general. So in that terms, when everything was going great, they were doing great, right? But drop of a hat, everything gets pulled out from underneath you and you don't have your job anymore. So a lot of people are saying, well, why don't you have a backup plan? Well, that doesn't really make sense, because if I'm working in an office and I'm an accountant and I make $100K a year, that's my job. I don't have a second job because I don't think this job is my job.
Right.
It's the same thing with pro wrestling, right? But, it's obviously different for an accountant. They're maybe still working or whatever, but you get my point, right? So the people who then were saying, well, why don't you have a backup plan? Why don't you, whatever. That doesn't make sense, because this is my full-time job and it was paying my bills just like being an accountant was. Both of them got ripped underneath me. Now I have the time to think about other stuff because we're on this great big pause. And all of a sudden, before, we're traveling 4 days a week, we're doing this, we're doing that. We don't have time to do all these other things, right? Now people are reconnecting with their family. They're more with their kids. Like, you're figuring out their interests and our interests. And as pro wrestlers, now we can have time to figure out maybe what we want to do post-career, or what we want to do to make our career better, or what we can do to monetize our business, or what we can do to start a YouTube channel or a vlog or a podcast, to do stuff in related to pro wrestling that can still be monetized, but I don't have to take bumps for it. So the whole argument with what people were saying, I don't know, I got off tangent about like you should have a backup plan. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, because LeBron James didn't have a backup plan, right? Say he was 19, he just signed his contract. I know it was for millions of dollars, so the idea is different. We're not getting paid millions of dollars. But say COVID hit when he was 19. He didn't have all the endorsement deals yet, and all the foundations and the I Promise schools and all these things to have his family secure. But his life got taken away from him. So maybe he would have planned it then, because he probably had an agent and some financial advisors. But that's in the same vein at a smaller scale for the people in indie wrestling. Like, for me, I'm fortunate, right? I have a lot of other interests. I'm doing a lot of other things. Life kind of threw me in that direction way before COVID hit, so I was already starting these other ventures. But I think, and also with that, in COVID, you didn't have to be productive every day. You don't have to learn 17 new languages and start a new business and have a fucking successful YouTube channel. You could have just paused and rested and, and done these things to then, when wrestling does come back, because it will come back full force. I don't know in what capacity as it was before, but you will be able to make your full-time living again. And that's cool to know that. You just got to be able to get through that financially.
Like, do you think that a heavy percentage, and I'm talking just to indie guys. In fact, let's even take it further. Let's take Texas indie guys.
Okay.
You think that a large percentage of them, when we do come back, whenever that is, end of the year, first of next year, whenever it is, once we're back to some sense of normalcy, and we're you're doing the 4-night loops, right?
Sure.
Do you think that the majority of the local Texas guys, are they going to come back hungrier because they've had that separation and that not knowing what to do with themselves? Or do you think that maybe a majority a majority will take a different approach because maybe some of them have utilized this break to find themselves, like you talk about, in other capacities, right? And find other interests and find other things to to really try to network and put themselves out there in a different light,
right,
to try to maximize their potential?
That's an interesting question. I feel like the guys who are already at the top of the talent pool in Texas will come back just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the people who are on the way up or up and coming are gonna. I think they're gonna be just as good and maybe even better as well. I think having an outside interest and garnering other interests outside of pro wrestling is going to make them better at pro wrestling.
Yeah, I think it benefits both sides.
I think so. Both people, regardless of what direction you went, I think
the benefit.
I think the shows are going to be much better too, because so much traumatic events have happened, so much collective trauma and collective grieving has happened that we're going to be. And I don't know how long it'll last. Hopefully, it lasts forever. But we're going to be excited to be there, excited to be a part of a show, excited to be putting on events and making people happy again, making ourselves happy again. Hopefully that lasts a long time. We can have a lot of positive energy.
I think people will be hungry because the sense that I get from the promoter side is that also, in as it pertains to the speaking out movement, even the folks that are learning about all these things, all the others that are learning about these horrific things and trying to make the most of it, just from a wrestling and a performance sense, don't you feel like that the kind of the collective, what's the word I'm looking for here, like the gist of the sense of everyone as a whole, even the folks that had nothing to do with speaking out, right? There's almost like that sense or that sense of responsibility that when we come back, like, we have to earn the fans' time.
Yes.
We have to earn their money. We have to earn their entertainment dollar again, right? We have to show them that, A, we're not putting up with shit like that, right? That shit is going away,
right?
And then B, we want to reestablish kind of that sense of trust in the fact of, we realize our place is to entertain you, right? You pay your hard-earned money for us to entertain you. And that's what we need to get back to doing, right? We need to get back to entertaining, but knowing that you're being entertained by quality people that are not going to put themselves, or God forbid, put certain fans in a situation like we're trying to repair that we found ourselves in before.
Right.
That makes sense, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's
I'm
like
with you there.
Yeah, it's
100%.
like so I think I think you hit it on the head. Like, it's going to be, people are going to be hungry for different purposes, for different reasons. But I think, and I'm a proponent for all brands to flourish and do good. I'm not just one of these guys that's going to tell you, oh, Lucha Brutal is the only company you need to watch, and there's no one else putting on. I'm not like that. I like to support everyone, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's Lucha Brutal, whether it's MPX, whatever brand,
whatever floats your boat, baby.
Whatever floats your boat. Like, it's like ice creams, right? I mean, there's great ice cream's great. It's not just one flavor ice cream. There's lots of ice cream.
There's so many good
fantastic,
ones.
Right? Wrestling's the same way. So I think we'll all put on kick-ass shows when we get
100%.
back and going full steam ahead.
Yeah.
It's something to be excited
I like what you said there. I think we are hungry, and I think we really want to earn back the fans' trust.
Yeah.
I really like that, because that's very important.
And I think the burden falls with us to do that.
It
right?
100%
The burden is on us.
They don't have to continue give us chances,
and they don't have to come back.
And they do. I mean, part of me thinks they why would they? Like, we put them in so much pain, and especially their kids are coming to the show, and so it's like, So, but
I do think that, like, and you've been at the forefront of this, some others. I think with the work that you guys have done, I think that there is that. I think that the message has been sent in a great way in terms of a sense of urgency. In, hey, we're fixing this from the inside.
Yeah.
Let us show you that we're fixing that, and then come back and judge us on what we do moving forward.
Yes,
right,
100%.
And then if we don't fulfill the things that we're saying that we're going to fulfill, and the obligations that we feel like we need to make to have better companies outside the ring, then by all means, to shun us away and never come back.
Right.
But give us that opportunity to show you that we're policing this from the inside, that we're serious, and that we want to do that.
Yeah, hold us accountable for every action that we make.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Yeah, we're gonna earn back the trust of the fans.
Yeah,
and because Texas wrestling was on the rise, before everything hit, and I think we got a lot to offer.
Yeah, and it can still be on the rise.
No, it still is on the rise.
Yeah.
We're just on a bit of a pause, like everything else, which is good. We need that kind of reset and recharge.
Yeah.
To make everything better and more quality moving forward.
Yeah.
So, thank you if you're watching this as a professional wrestling fan, thank you for sticking with us. Appreciate you.
No doubt.
All right, so I want to end on this one question.
Okay. But we're going to end on some positivity tonight?
It's an interesting question. I was thinking about it a lot.
Okay, good.
So you're a guy who's around a lot of professional athletes.
Yep.
A lot of guys who have done some pretty amazing things with their lives and their careers. They've had some big accomplishments. And so you're around a lot of big egos. And so I've been researching ego a lot, just in what it means and how it can drive certain people and what it means for my mental state and things like that. But what I want to ask you is, what do you find the difference between having an ego and having self-confidence?
That's a great question. I think that to me, the definition of ego in an athletic realm is you have credentials, right? You have done things athletically that have caught people's attention.
Right.
If you have to talk about the things that you have done to catch people's attention athletically, then to me there's an underlying problem there of self-confidence and questioning your own worth, that it's not self-confidence and that it's masked to an ego. And to me, the people that exude those personality traits, they're never going to make it because they're always questioning themselves.
Yeah.
Self-confidence are the guys that lead by example, right? And I've ran across them in wrestling. I've ran across them in baseball, like guys that show up. They got their work boots on the second they walk in the door. They're first one in, last one out. You can judge a lot of those people on their character when the spotlight's not on.
Yes.
Right? Don't look at what they're doing when people are watching. Look at what they're doing when people aren't watching. Right? And those guys that have the work ethic, the guys that have traits to support you. Like, there are great guys in both industries. And let's just talk wrestling quickly. There's my favorite dudes, my favorite guys, you being one of them. My favorite guys in this industry are guys that, like, one of the main things, one of the main drawing powers to them as a person is the way that they go to bat for others. It's not about themselves.
Yeah.
It's them pushing for someone that they believe in, or pushing for a topic of discussion that they believe in, or them pushing for awareness in a particular area. If that is what drives them every day over their talented endeavor, whether it be sports or wrestling, and they're using their platform to put these things that they're passionate about across, those are winners in my book.
That's
right?
self-confidence.
That is self-confidence, right? Because they don't need to talk about what they've done in the ring or what they've done on the field, or they don't need to spit stats, career stats out at you, or where they've been, or who they've worked, or what promotions they've worked with. All that, you can look that up yourselves, right? It's what they're doing with that, and taking the betterment of humanity to another level in using their platform to do stuff. Those are the guys. Those are the guys that I'm going to bond with, and those are the guys that I'm going to be boys with, right? And I've been lucky enough to have it in both genres, right? In wrestling and baseball. So for me, I think the guys with ego And I'm not saying they're bad people for it.
No, for
I just think
definitely
that they have some confidence issues. I think that they have. It's got to be about me, because I think in their minds that is the way that they feel like they have a purpose, and they measure up to the people that they're in whatever said industry with. Right. And then you have the guys that just use their talent and their platform to get points across, and that's why I hate. You've seen a lot lately, and you've seen it in the BLM movement, which is so important. You've seen it in some other things. Like one of the things I hate is when people's reaction is when someone is giving their opinion or they're passionate about a certain movement, and then you get these people, these keyboard commandos that will come out there and say, "Oh, just shut up and be an athlete."
Yeah, I can't stand that.
Oh my God, that rubs me the wrong way. So you're telling me that you want that person to not be a human being, to not care about or be passionate about anything. You just want them to dribble a basketball, or let's see some great chain wrestling, or let's see how far you can hit a fastball, or what.
Right.
Come on,
it.
man. If that is your natural reaction, or that is your natural comeback for any purpose in life, I feel bad for that person, because their life is obviously so shallow that they can't see past that point. And to me, there's no, even trying to get in a debate with a person like that is pointless, because they're only going to see it one way. They've got the blinders on.
Right.
And it's to me, it's just pointless.
Yeah, you got to pass on just some empathy at that point to that person.
Yes.
They're the only way they're going to change their mind is if they change their mind themselves, through some actual inward work.
No doubt.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
I came up with this question. I thought it was a very good question. Ego versus self-confidence. It's a very interesting one, because there's a really fine line between, if you're talking about super elite performers, the best in the world at what they do. There's an extreme fine line between self-confidence and arrogance, and you have to kind of ride that wave if you want to be the best in the world at what you do.
Well, look at wrestling per se, and look at some of the guys that you and I both know that are really close. They're there right now, and they are. They talk about the brass ring, right? And they're right there. Guys like Keith Lee, guys that are. They're. You and I look at them as unbelievable already, but in the national landscape, people that might not have known about these people, they're not coming the door, right? They're right there, right? Look at the thing that's in common. Let's take Keith Lee. Have you ever once heard Keith Lee gloat on himself? I never have.
No, because there's a difference between knowing that you're really good at something and then telling people that you're
That's
really
right.
good
He
at
lets
something.
his work speak for itself. He doesn't have to say anything.
When you're driven by your ego, you're not really a free thinker.
Right.
So you're driven by this idea that you're a bigger being than anyone else, and that in itself is a very difficult concept to grasp, because you are being put on a pedestal if you're a professional athlete. People are seeing you as this person, as an athlete, not really even as a human. So then we get wrapped up in our own stuff, and we're driven by our ego. But it's hard.
But I think you do have to have the self-confidence. You have to have the confidence in yourself enough to know that if you're given an opportunity, or you're put in a position to where you got one shot, it's sink or swim, succeed or not, you've got to have enough belief in yourself, and you have to have enough belief in the clout of your body of work that has gotten you to that point, to know that you can succeed.
And that's what self-confidence is. Self-confidence is self-love. It's knowing that all of your preparation and your work and your effort and your visualization and your mindfulness has led you literally to this exact point. No other path would have led you to this exact point. You've been there, you've done the work, and now you're going to succeed.
Perfectly said.
That's it. That's what self-confidence is. And I have no problem, because I'm a very confident guy. I'm extremely competitive. I think I'm really good at what I do. And I have no problem with people especially as a pro wrestler, right? You kind of have to vocalize these things, right? If we're doing these promos, and we're trying to as athletes, as pro athletes in MLB, NFL, you don't have to. You can, in press conferences and stuff,
But you still have to have, even in that, you have to have a sense of swagger.
But you have to, because people are watching and there's an
Yeah.
entertainment value to it.
Yeah.
But especially in pro wrestling, there's no problem with being like, saying that you're really good at something or putting yourself over on Twitter and talking about the things that you do and have done. Because, the landscape of pro wrestling is not that big. It's still a niche audience.
You do have to sell yourself.
You have to sell yourself, but you have to sell yourself in a way that's coming off as like, I'm me, this is what I am, this is what I've done, this is what I'm about, and not having the ego drive you. Because then when you get to the opportunity, if your ego is driving you, usually you're not going to be your best self. But if your confidence is driving you, the love of the sport is driving you, then, man, you're going to knock it out of the park.
That's an excellent point. Excellent.
But, man, we could talk about ego and confidence for a while, but that's good. Maybe someone will put that in a video.
Right.
Put it on Twitter.
That's money.
Yeah.
Sell it. So when you make your little teaser video for this, there was your spot right there.
It's up to Ben, whatever Ben wants to do.
Ben, you're good. You know what you're doing.
Yeah. That's good though. I think we'll wrap that up. This is a good episode. I think we talked for like an hour or so.
Dude, I don't get many cracks at being in everybody's land, so I gotta make the most of my time on the set here.
So what was going to happen now, basically?
There's going to be a beating. Call the police. A crime is going to be committed.
Will not be on camera. We'll probably have a few more of these Bud Lights.
Yeah.
I got a little more candy over there in the corner.
Are you gonna? Let me ask this before we go though.
Okay.
No, it's not going to be on camera. But are you going to post the results of what is going to happen?
I will. I'll put it on Instagram story of the final results from Brad and I's game.
Boom.
But we're going to play MLB The Show.
I will humble him. Jaxon Stone will be humbled tonight.
I like being humbled. Yeah. Please. But like always, thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Like, comment, subscribe, follow. Luch Patel got really good stuff. Check them out. Shows in the future.
I try to have fun on my Twitter too. I'm not you. I don't have as much fun as you have. But you can follow me at TheBrada, TheBrada. I try to have some fun. I try to have some laughs.
Well, your Twitter and Instagram and Luch Patel will be all over the Jaxon Talks Everybody website.
Awesome.
But yeah, follow You Are Loved Life. Go to youarelovedlife.com for all your You Are Loved merchandise and mental health needs. But I love you. Stay well. Cheers. Bye. Thank you.